Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, ladies. Hope you are all having a fabulous day. Today, I want to come on and talk about kind of something that's been really on my mind a lot lately. And this is just a simple decision if we want to live in pleasure or if we want to live in suffering. And I'm going to back up a little bit and tell you a little more kind of about the big picture of this. But, this is kind of the real reason most personal growth and development does not work. This is the real reason why you may make a change and it might last for a short period of time, but it's not long lasting. It's not transforming you. And so what I've learned in my years of doing this work is that there are two ways of being, right? We can be in a state where we're suffering, where we're stressed, where we have all kinds of problems, where we can't seem to get a break, one thing after another. There's no time for yourself. It's just like you're drowning. And alternatively, you can be in a state where you feel good, where you feel resourced, where things seem easy, things seem to flow, you're getting along with the people around you. You and your partner are having a really good relationship and things seem to be really, jiving on all levels. And honestly, it's always a choice, which sounds really, I know you're like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But really, it's a simple thing. And I think that's why we don't always give it so much credit, because it is so simple, right? We have to make a simple choice to change how we're thinking and to create a new reality for ourselves. And the problem is most of us don't have the proper tools of how to do that. So it's not our fault. We've never been taught these things. This is not something our society teaches us. So it's no wonder that we struggle. And, we can say all the affirmations we want, but if our body is not on board for that, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. Our subconscious is going to continue to sabotage us. So just knowing that it's not our fault, and the reason that this is, happening is it's just simply part of our conditioning, and because we don't have the proper tools in place to make changes. So if you can think about it, just even think of a day. Maybe you woke up and things didn't go well. Maybe you got into an argument with your partner. Maybe your kids were being a real, piece of work, and getting out to school was challenging. And just notice, kind of how your day felt after that, how your interactions went, how your attitude was, how your energy level was. And alternatively, I want you to think of a time when, you had an awesome morning. Your kids were magically cooperative. You got to school on time. You and your partner actually maybe had time to connect before you ran out the door. And then how did you feel after that? And how did you go about your day? And what happened? What were the interactions like after that point? They're different, right? So different. And it's, I think part of it comes down to, it's like, do we want to choose to let that negative energy stay with us, or do we want to do something to shift that? And shift it on all levels. So I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, and physically, because all those three things have to be in play to make a change. And so even for this morning, I can tell you, I woke up to an email. I usually never check my email in the mornings, but I wanted to listen to a meditation, so I was checking my email to find it. And the first email I had was like a very upsetting email. And I was like, oh, that was the first thing I saw. How shitty. So, but I knew, like, okay, I have a choice. I can continue to let this email affect how I'm going to create my whole day, or I can use my tools, use the techniques that I have to shift that and shift my vibration and shift who I'm being and shift how I'm responding. Right? I could just be in a state of reaction and shut down and letting my amygdala run the show, or I can activate my prefrontal cortex and use my mind to reprogram my brain, right? So when we do this, what that looks like is like literally saying, wow, okay, I see this part of myself that's triggered, and doing something about it. And so then what I did was I did a meditation, and I made myself feel really good. And then I dropped my kid off at school, came back home, and took a quick bath. I didn't have a lot of time, but granted, 15 minutes in the bath was amazing. And I was able to just connect to my body, and I did some self-nurturing practices like that brought in my body and my emotions and my mind, so that I feel amazing now. Like it's night and day from how I first woke up. So we have to have those tools and strategies in place to shift. And then once we have those, whatever comes our way, we know how to handle it, right? So this is a lot what I do when I work with clients, is like help them like have a clear path and a clear way to move these things forward. And it starts by number one is getting really super clear about what you want. Because this is the thing. We are so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, we often neglect ours completely. Or we may think we want one thing, but really, deep down, maybe that's not what we truly want. Maybe that's just what we've been conditioned to think we want. Maybe that's what everyone's told us that we want. Maybe that's what the marketing is driven into us that we think we want, but that's not necessarily true on a deep root level. So we kind of bypass all that and really get to the true root of what it is that you desire. And then once we have that clarity, we can create a plan to get there, right? And then the second thing is you've got to integrate love into everything you do, which, as I'm telling you, it is such a healing power, because we have to start with this like root sense of safety and belonging and love in our bodies to make these outside changes. And if we don't have that root level of safety, then we're never going to get anywhere. You know, we're going to continue to self-sabotage and not get what we want. So when you connect to this love at a root level and create these create just a toolbox, if you will, of resources that you can use to feel resourced. And what resourced means that you feel in every way safe, that all your needs are taken care of, that you are supported, and that you are enough exactly as you are. And so this is why you need that basis of love before you can move on to the next steps. It's all going to come together. So then number 3 is embodiment. We have to get the body on board. This is what's so often bypassed in personal growth and development and coaching in general. And this is why I'm so passionate about like bringing in sensual self-care, bringing in a lot of these ancient practices that connect us deeply with our body. Because so many times memories, things that we've had happen in our life, they're stored in our tissues, in our cells. And until we learn how to release that, that's, again, it's going to continue those loops of self-sabotage and you not getting what you want. Maybe it looks like, you want to save money, but yet you still online shop beyond your means. Or maybe it's like you want to lose some weight, but there's a part of you that doesn't feel safe in a thinner body. And so you keep this protective layer of padding on your physical form. Maybe it's you want to have more intimacy with your husband, but you maybe have all this shame that's like deep embedded inside of you that you didn't even realize. And so it can cause pain in sex or disinterest or lack of pleasure. So this is how those things can show up in our bodies. And so we're going to embody the things that we want, the desired life that we want, who we want to be. We embody that and bring it into our cells and into our bodies. And through that embodiment, you are living the example of what you want. So you're more likely to bring that in. And it feels really good. It's learning how to be back into these pleasurable states. So you can feel good and be present. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be present with ourselves. We want to be present with our loved ones. And then activation, right? You're going to be activated because when you once you learn how to unleash this feminine fire within you, and I'm going to give you the tools and techniques to do that, you will know how to activate this empowered self. You're going to have that support when you need it. You're going to know how to be turned on when you want to be turned on. You're going to know how to feel in your body and how to enjoy this like beautiful vessel that we get to express through and live in. And you're going to be able to be more comfortable in your skin and have more self-confidence so that you can ask for what you want and that you can create the boundaries that you need to support yourself so you can bring in the things you want into your life. So maybe that's, being able to communicate with your partner about what you really need. Maybe it's saying no to some things you used to always say yes to, but creating this activation, it gives you that inner fire and that inner power and strength to do the action that you need to bring in what you want. Because yes, action is part of it. You can't just sit around and hope and everything. You've got to bring it all together and do. And then finally, you're going to have your radiant results, right? You're going to get what you want. You're going to have the tools that you need to bring what you want to your life. So maybe that's your sex life with your partner is totally night and day from what it was. Maybe you actually go into the closet and when you put on your clothes, you're like, damn, I look good in the mirror. Maybe it's when in the past you're rushing the kids out the door and you're stressed thinking about the next thing. You actually sit next to them and have a couple-minute conversation while they eat their breakfast and take in their precious innocence and take in their beauty and feel reflected that love that you have for each other and letting that light you up, right? Maybe that means that you are now asking for what you want in your job and getting it because you're able to confidently know what you want and how to ask for it. So maybe it's that you finally feel connected to yourself again. You don't feel like you are just this overwhelmed sloth. Not that you're a sloth, but you know what I mean? Like sometimes you get that feeling like you're just overwhelmed and just like this, right? You're like, ah, see that difference, that radiance that shines through. It's like a night and day experience. And so you will emerge from this process a totally different woman than how you were when you walked in. Because you are going to have this experience. You're going to have had this experience of changing your state, changing your thoughts, knowing how to embody what you want, knowing how to create this beautiful, nurturing self-care practices for yourself and sensual self-care. And you're going to have a better understanding of your body and how it works and how, when things come up, to integrate those. So I just wanted to share that with you because I realized even just today, like what a huge difference that makes in my own life, that I have this toolbox that I know what to do when I'm in certain situations to get the desired result that I want. And I can teach you those things as well. So if this is something that you are interested in, or if you are feeling like that disconnected from yourself, or you're feeling just overwhelmed by trying to balance it all, or if you're feeling like your relationship is really slipping and you are, got to make a change, like it's now, or, alternatively, what's going to happen 3 years down the road if you don't make a change, 5 years down the road if you don't make a change. It's always well and good to say, oh, one day I'll do this or one day I'll do that. Why not make that today? Why not take control today and bring what you want into your life and have more fun and pleasure doing it? Because that's the key, right? It's enjoying the journey. So I'll pop in below. I've got some times opened up in my calendar this week to kind of walk you through this process and see how I can support you and bring in the desired results that you want in your life. So I'll put the link below and would love to chat with you. I'll offer, an hour of my time free to support you and serve you. And if I can help you, great. And if not, great. But I definitely want to help you get to where you want to be. That's why I'm here. And I love you, ladies. I hope you have a fabulous Wednesday. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to pop those down below too, and I'm happy to answer them.